everybody, and welcome to a new episode of the Collector Shot. Today I have for you guys my man Will from the Squared Circle Action Figure Podcast. Awesome dude. I was on his podcast a couple of weeks ago and we kind of hit it off, so I thought it'd be cool to have him on the Collector Shot and talk to him. Big wrestling fan, big wrestling enthusiast. As you guys will see from the video, his collection in the background is amazing. He's got some really cool pieces that we talk about. And we also share our experiences in the world of wrestling and fandom and YouTube and all other kinds of good stuff. So sit back, relax, kick back a shot, and enjoy the interview. What's going on, everybody, and welcome back to another episode of The Collector Shot. Joining me today is fellow wrestling enthusiast, fellow YouTuber, fellow podcaster, all-around good guy, my man Will the Thrill from the Squared Circle Action Figure Podcast. What's going on, dude?
Hey, what's up, Seth? Thanks so much for having me on. Obviously, I'm very psyched to just talk wrestling and as I like to say, shoot the shit. And
Exactly.
super excited to get it all rolling, man. How you doing?
I'm doing good, man. It's listen, while we're recording this, it's Friday night. No complaints. The weekend's getting ready to start. Getting ready to ramp it up next week. Going to, I guess you would say, it's the biggest con in the state of Florida. We got MegaCon next week in Orlando. Few wrestlers are actually going to be there that they announced, which is actually pretty interesting. The Undertaker's going to be there.
Wow, Fitterman is big, yeah. Oh, I know about that show. I just sent the info to my friend down in Orlando.
Yeah.
Yes, totally. And dude, you're gonna have Flair there. Everybody, Ray,
Flair, Ray Owens, the Bella Twins, Alexa Bliss, Carmella, and then just the other day they announced Adam Cole, Britt Baker, Jerry the King Lawler, and I believe Adam Shear. Okay. So that'll be interesting. Now, I've already met Adam Cole, and when I met Adam Cole, I met him when they did Fan Fest down here in Orlando for Revolution, and I have the Undisputed Era 3-pack, which I did get signed by him, Bobby Fish, and Kyle O'Reilly. But after that, I went out and I was like, you know what? I was like, I want to track down his rookie figure. So I have the FTC figure mint on card, and I think I'm going to take it with me, and I'm going to meet Adam Cole again and have him sign that one.
Yeah, I mean, look, Ricky figures are so fun. As I'm doing some whatnot sales and trying to kind of get rid of the fat, I would say, in my collection, right?
Absolutely.
And it's very tough for me to give up those rookies, and you could always get them signed, and they'll always hold their value. As far as signings and cons are going, I'm actually going to see Flair tomorrow, and as Seth said, yeah, this is Friday, so Saturday they're having a huge at this Mall of America style place in New Jersey. They're going to have a huge autograph fest, it's called, and Flair's going to be there, Tyson, Lawrence Taylor, all these big guys, Goldberg, obviously co-operated by Fitterman, which I believe does all the signings for Flair and a lot of the WWE talent. So, I've never met Flair, man, and I just met Adam Cole, and he was great. And
so I actually have a very funny Flair story. I believe it was it was Armageddon 2002. They were down here in Sunrise, and me, my girlfriend at the time, which is now my wife, and one of my friends, we went to the pay-per-view. So we knew that the wrestlers were staying across the street at the hotel across from the arena. So right as the pay-per-view ended, we ran across the street and we sat in the parking garage waiting for people to show up. So out of the parking, first two guys to pull in, Brock Lesnar and Kurt Angle in a Taurus. I jumped out of the car. I got a picture with Brock. I got a picture with Kurt. Then we waited in front of the hotel. We got to meet Taz. Me and my wife got to take a picture with Jeff Hardy. And then all of a sudden, Ric Flair comes strolling in through the lobby. Obviously, he didn't have time at the arena to wash himself off because he was still covered in the blood packet. And he's just walking through the lobby, and he looks miserable as fuck. And I'm like looking at my wife. I'm like, hey, I want to go get a picture with him. She's like, no, he looks angry. Just leave him alone. And honestly, dude, I've never seen that. I've never seen someone with that kind of a scowl on their face. I mean, this dude just looked like all he wanted to do was just go up to his room, wash that shit off, and either go to bed or get on a plane and get out of town. I mean, it was crazy, but yeah, dude, he looked so pissed off. I was just like, yeah, I'll stay back and relax.
Yeah, he probably missed his date for the evening. That's why. He's like, "Oh, damn, this
Yeah,
freaking pay-per-view ran too long." You know,
yeah.
they kept me over there. You know,
And for those of you that don't remember that main event, that actual main event from that pay per view was um Kurt Angle versus oh no, yeah, it was Kurt Angle versus the Big Show, and Brock Lesnar came in and F5 the Big Show to help Kurt Angle retain, I believe it was.
yeah.
So that was that's fun. I love reliving stuff like that from the past. But speaking of wrestling shows, my man, I literally just got done watching about 30 minutes ago, seeing you front row ringside Rampage, and then also seeing you Wednesday night Dynamite. And I'm like, my man, I'm like sitting there on the couch watching this, and my wife's like, "Why are you laughing?" I'm like, "Oh, I'm like that's my buddy Will." I'm like, I was on his podcast a couple weeks ago, and I see you sitting there swapping out the signs and everything. Did you bring those signs, or did they give them to you?
Yes, no, I bring all my signs. My
Okay,
lovely, my lovely, I guess, wifey, as everybody calls her, my wife, Christy. We call her the tie dye gal because she likes wearing tie dye dude
I
love
saw
shirts to the
that.
shows and sparkly macho man jackets. So
I
anyway,
saw I saw that she had the
she
jacket
makes
on.
she makes all the signs, bro. And like, okay, so let me tell you, nobody gives me absolutely anything. I okay. There's also a way to do it. There's an etiquette behind it. There's just an old school way of doing this. And I come from, we're getting old. We're getting up
Yeah,
there. You know, we've been watching wrestling for, God, our entire lives. So you kind of just know what to do. And I think younger generations and such don't know that, but I don't get anything from anyone. I pay for my seats. I mean, those seats, if you can really hawk online when they come out and you get the pre-sale codes, you can get them, man. You can get them, but it's tough and they're going to cost you about $200, $300, you know?
listen, compared to what WWE is asking for their tickets, they just announced a house show by me in, I think it's June or July, and it's called Sunday SmackDown or some, I forgot what it's called or whatever.
Yeah.
And we're looking, me and my wife are looking at tickets for me, her, and the kids. And dude, just for cheap, like decent seats, they're like $140 a person, and they're not even ringside. Ringside, it's $500 a ticket.
Yeah.
And it's like,
So it's
ugh,
out of control at the WWE. And
yeah,
look, the live events from what I hear are always better. And I have not been to a WWE live event probably since like, I don't know, 98, 99 maybe. And then I
yeah,
stopped even going to live events at that point. Really quickly though, as far as the prices, yeah, I was talking to an AEW fan and a WWE fan, and he was telling me the same thing. He's like, why would I ever go to a WWE event,
yeah.
spend double the price or even more, depending if it's even a Raw or SmackDown? I mean, you're looking at the thousands of dollars for ringside. And he was just like, it's just the action is here, the entertainment's here, the price, the value's there. And yeah, we were actually talking about that in the arena on the floor. So yeah, it's exciting, man. I absolutely love going to the events, and we try to be a personalities. You know, we try to be interactive. We want to be participatory because that's what fans used to do, and that's what wrestling promotions wanted from the fans.
Yeah. So it's funny that you mentioned that, because I've been to AEW shows and I've been to WWE shows, and between the two, I find much more enjoyment at an AEW show. Now, as far as the main event for that house show that they're promoting, it's Drew McIntyre versus Sami Zayn. I'm like, I'm not spending my money for Drew McIntyre and Sami Zayn. I'm like, come on. The last time they did a house show was about I think it was about like 3 years ago, and the main event was AJ Styles versus Rollins in a steel cage,
There you go.
and that was a great show.
Yeah.
You know,
And
but
that's
that
and that's a great main event
yeah.
house match, you know?
Exactly. And I didn't mind paying the extra money for the seats that we got for that, because we got right up against the rail by the ramp where they come out.
Mhm.
And if you actually, if afterwards, if you want, you can go back on my Instagram. Because of those seats, I was able to get pictures with R-Truth. I was able to get pictures with Natalia. I got a picture with me and Seth Rollins. So I mean, it's like, those were great seats, and I think we only paid like $40 for $40 for each ticket. And
It's
it's
unreal.
ridiculous now how much those same seats were 3 years ago to now. We looked at those same seats. Those same seats were going, I think, for like $175.
Yeah, the prices inflation has hit us. Everybody knows that from an economic standpoint. But as far as even just the price of goods and services, tickets, you're mentioning this $40 for ringside. Basically, a good story I've had. I used to go to MSG with my friends at '98 to about 2001, and we went literally to every show other than house shows. So it would be every Raw, SmackDown, or pay per view that they had there. And there was a point where they would open up seats along the aisle, along the entrance ramp, et cetera, because they had more seats to fill in because they didn't know how big the entrance stage was going to be, et cetera, et cetera. So they would pre-sell tickets, obviously, at the box office. Physical ticket, get a physical ticket, guys. There was no electronics these days, and
It's
then
yeah, going back to the good old days. Yeah.
yeah, go exactly. And then you would go to MSG box office the day of the event, just prior to the event, I would say 5 hours before, and there would be a group of people, including guys like Vlad or Tie Dye Guy and the people that you used to see on these shows repeatedly. And we would all get floor seats. And even for Raw and SmackDowns at the end of that tenure, only $100 a ticket.
Oh, that's yeah, that's not
I
bad at
mean,
all.
we were first row on the end of the ramp all the time, man.
Yeah.
I can't tell you how many times. I mean, I saw Triple H's return there, and it's a situation where it again, it's expensive back then, but I saved up. I was a kid, I was working, I had a job in high school, and I got tickets, or my mom would give me money for a ticket here or there. I wasn't, rich or anything, but we had the opportunity to do that. And yeah, it's just so different today. The
Yeah,
prices
it
are
is.
crazy. You don't have that kind of connection, especially with WWE and stuff. And it's all electronic based. But that's a good story I have. And I have some of these ticket stubs too. I'll post them on my Instagram at
So
SUV Circuit.
speaking of ticket stubs, I heard one of the new things now is to actually take the ticket stubs and get them graded.
Yes, I saw that people are submitting them to PSA and other grading authorities.
Mhm.
I do have The Rock. I have two tickets. I was at that pay per view of his debut in MSG at Survivor Series 1996, I believe. Um,
Wow, that's a ticket right there, man.
I have currently listed on eBay for 12. Now it first sold for like best offer 12 and then 5 and then 8 and then two people just bought one for $2,000 a piece.
Wow.
I don't even
Were
know
those
what to
graded?
do.
Were those graded or just raw?
No, they're raw and ungraded. There is one graded on there. I think that's listed upwards of 50 grand now.
Oh shit.
Yeah.
That's
I
nuts.
don't know how I know all this. I just do. Like
Wow. Well,
I'm always looking.
yeah, well, that's the thing. I mean, listen, we're always, obviously, both of us being avid wrestling collectors, we like, sometimes we like to go back and look for things that we were at, events we were at, or things that resonate with us. So, I mean, I can get why, you would be looking for something like that, or even just to get an idea or a ballpark of what you could possibly maybe even sell yours for if you wanted to. So, I
Yes.
mean,
Comps and valuation, and when you have a collection this big and you've been doing it for this long and you do have a lot of prized pieces that need to be insured, you want to kind of check these things out.
So I'm noticing behind you that you actually, in your case, you have the what is it, the pull string Ultimate Warrior in the box,
Yes,
which
yes.
is awesome.
That's
I
fantastic.
have it loose. I found it at when I went to Toylanta. I found that, and the voice box is okay. You can make out what it's saying, because usually when they're loose, you never see them working very well with the voice box.
Yeah.
So the Ultimate Warrior that the guy had, I picked it up for like $85, but it was clean. Like there were no scuffs on the body or anything. It looked really clean. Then I go to Nashville, and that was ICCC, which is basically solely a sci-fi convention, which is basically more like your Star Wars and Star Trek type
Yep.
things, but more heavily towards Star Wars than anything. Um, Never in a million years would I think I would ever find wrestling stuff there.
Of course you do.
Especially
No,
especially no. All seriousness, I didn't expect to find any wrestling stuff. I wound up finding an on card Hasbro Series 2 Hulk Hogan that I got. I paid like $140 for it, which wasn't too bad. And then they do, after the show ends in the hall in the expo, they did a lobby swap. Somebody had the pull string Hulk Hogan. So I was like, wow. I was like, loose, but the thing was mint. I mean,
man.
it was immaculate. So I said, hey, can I see that? And he goes, yeah. I pull the string, the voice box works. It was like no one. It
I
was like
can't
no one
believe it.
ever. It was like no one ever played with it. It works.
I can't believe it.
It's amazing. And I was so the minute I pulled it, and all of a sudden you hear it go, "Feel the power of Hulkamania."
Oh shit.
Here, good sir. I'm like, good sir. How much and take my money, please. And yeah, so I wound up getting it. I wound up getting it for like $1.35.
Oh
But
Jesus.
b-
You
but
gotta
it
have
was
those pieces.
but I mean it was amazing. The voice box worked.
I can't believe it. You at least have to put it on your Instagram because I have one here and here, let me get it because this is what this
I
is
got it
here
right,
for.
I got it right here. I could grab it. It's an arm reach. Hold on.
Awesome. Let's do it.
Oh, yours is in the box. Oh, don't take it out of the box. Don't
Oh,
do
come on.
that.
You didn't think I just had Warrior, did you?
Here.
That is so freaking awesome, man.
Dude.
Because mine does not sound like that,
Yeah,
bro.
I'm saying.
Let's see.
I'm saying. Yeah, it's like yeah.
Yeah.
All right,
yours is perfect,
yeah,
bro.
here.
Dude,
Yeah.
perfect.
Unbelievable, right? Unbelievable.
I know. And look at this thing. This thing has never been removed. Never. I mean, this is like in mint condition.
Dude,
This box and everything.
isn't it funny how lazy the packaging looks?
Oh yeah.
Like compared to the packaging now, like all you have is the cardboard all you could see is the cardboard on the inside.
Oh,
Now,
yeah,
if this was done in today's time, you would have like a graphic in the background and all that stuff. I mean, dude, and that box that box is clean.
Dude. This person had this from it has a tag. I believe it has a tag here somewhere.
Yeah, I see it right there on the top. It's right there on the top.
Okay. So I don't even know where it's from because it's just a tag, $25. It was
$25. Oh my God.
$25. Yep.
Unbelievable.
If you could see it there, but $25, guys.
That's crazy, man. $25.
Yeah. And mine doesn't work. And I didn't spend 25. I spent $225 on it.
Woo! So I paid a little less. I paid less than you, and mine's out of the box and meant it still worked.
Yeah, you paid $224 and change, or $223 and change less, and you got a working toy, and I got some.
Yeah,
that
but
doesn't
that
even
box,
talk.
but that box is mint.
It's
Don't
sick,
find you don't find stuff like that anymore, which is amazing. So again, yeah, like I never thought in a million years like I would find that at a Star Wars convention out of all places. The other thing that somebody had next to the on-card Hogan was a French version of the British Bulldog on card, and the guy was asking like $350 for it, and I was like, yeah, that's not happening.
No, I have a French model because it was weird back in the day. KB's had those 3 first sales, right? And they got all that old. I don't know if you remember this, but KB Toys at the end of the Hasbro license got a lot of the dead stock from other countries.
Yeah,
and they must have bought it from warehouses around the world. And God, you could find French, you could find Spanish, you could find Italian, and all the KBs, and they were all 3 for whatever. And that's when the model was one of the only Hasbros as a kid I never had, just because he was a heel. I didn't want to buy a guy that was a heel, basically. I had some heels there and there, but so I found this French card one, and I always kept it on the card because obviously the model
was French. Yeah.
So, I thought it was fun to have.
I have a graded French one of Coco Beware mint on card. It's actually sitting right up there. I can't pull it down because there's other stuff. But yeah, I went to my local store, Bits and Buttons, and he had one sitting in the case, and I think he charged me like $40 for it.
Amazing.
And I was like, oh, okay. I was like, I'll buy it, and then I took it and I sent it to CAS and had them grade it, and it was so cool. I never seen a French card before. Now I actually went back to his store last weekend, and I don't know if you know about this. He actually had I guess the Spanish version, the Jocastas.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh.
He has Jocastas mint on card. He has Hogan, Jake the Snake, and I believe $1 Million Man in the case.
hold up, Seth. Hold up.
Oh, here we go.
Because
I
here I'm
opened
gonna
up now.
have
I opened up
have
Pandora's
you got
box.
this one yet? Have you got this one
Oh,
yet?
you son of a bitch. He has it. So he has it in the case. He has it in the case in his
Buy
store.
it.
It's $150, but the problem is that I don't want it on card. I want it loose.
I know you do. I know you do. But I think you're just gonna
And
have to buy this one.
I might have to just bite the bullet. I agree with you. I might just have to do that. So, but yeah, oh yeah, you got the unpunched too. Oh shit, look at that. That's
Yeah.
nice.
So I got this. Do you know Mark Bushy, the
Uh,
Bushman?
your name sounds familiar. Yeah,
Yeah, he has it's like I can see you or something on Instagram. He was selling these because he had found them actually. I don't know
oh
where.
yeah they talked about him on the major pod. Yeah,
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 he's
I
good
know who
friends with
that
the
is. Yeah,
major.
yeah.
He's a big proto guy as well, and so he had a ton of them. So that's the I got a ton of them here. I
That's
got
crazy. That is unbelievable.
Yeah, I do have the $1 million man here too, which is nice.
Wow,
And
that is beautiful.
they are just pristine. I
Yeah,
got sick cards for these. I told him I'm like
yeah.
I need sick cards, and then I do have your favorite man.
What do you got? Who you pulling out? Who you pulling out?
You know who I'm
Oh,
pulling out.
You got the Series 1 Hogan. Nice.
Series one, yeah, Slam Hogan on the drum.
Nice.
It's beautiful. These, yeah, I mean,
So speaking about about the Hasbros, one thing that I'm actually enjoying now collecting, um, and I think we spoke about this when I was on your podcast, the Mattel retros. Um, there are some characters that I would love for them to release. Like I would love to see a newer Hogan. Um, I would love to see an Andre the Giant. Um, I would like to see $1 Million Man. Like I would like to see them bring back some of the older guys.
I remember seeing the $1 Million Man as I believe at the last access or something. They are doing $1 Million Man
Okay.
with like a green suit attire. Yeah, give look when it comes to this line. Because I mean, obviously we had the Motu line, the WWE
Yeah.
Masters of the
Well, they're
WWE
done with
Universe.
that. They're done with that line. They killed
Done
it a
with
ton.
that.
Yeah.
But you got a lot of like I have an Andre up here. I actually have I can't really show it because I have a lot of prototypes
Oh,
and
nice.
that are still under
That's
under
cool.
the
That,
license.
that
So I
that's good.
guess
That's cool, man.
so, but yeah, like the Andre, I mean, you take all the stuff off of his Motu one, and he's great. He's in the same style. They had the Austin, they had a Hulk Hogan in that two pack with
Oh yeah,
Austin with the ring
yeah,
and
with the ring.
everything
Yeah,
like
with
that.
the ring. Yeah.
But yes, give me superstars for me. If you stick to legends, I'm gonna pretty much probably buy one or two of every wrestler. I mean, that's just it. I mean,
So that's why I kind of liked the last 4 pack that they released that had Mr. T and Piper and Bob Orton and Mean Gene.
oh, you're talking. Sorry, I'm talking about superstars.
Yeah.
You're talking about retros.
Yeah, I'm
I'm
talking
sorry.
about the Mattel retros.
Yeah. So okay. Sorry. Here's my take with the retros. Yes, give me anything retro. Let me see what you could do. But I wouldn't probably buy some of those guys. Just
See,
me. Sorry.
I no, you're good. I personally think now that Cody's back in WWE, I think there's a good chance that they make a Mattel retro of a newer one of Dusty, which I would like to
That would be fun.
which I would like to see. Maybe have him in a 4 pack. Maybe it's like a mix of like new and old. So maybe you have or you even do a 2 pack of Cody now with Dusty back then, which would be pretty cool in my opinion to see.
Yeah, that would be fun too. I don't know. They don't. It's so funny. They've done the crossover stuff sparingly throughout the 10 plus years. I know they had like some of the father son packs and stuff like that,
Yeah.
or and I think I don't know why it's so touchy. Yeah, I'm all for like having that because kayfabe's dead or whatever. I don't care. I'm going to say it. And no, everybody knows. Like, have like these like Britt Baker, Adam Cole 2 pack or something, or do more of that because it's in our faces anyway. So
Well,
I'm
they
all for it.
are. Well, they are. What is it? Well, Mattel is doing the what is it? The Dominic Mysterio build a figure as the kid as little
As
kid
the kid.
Dominic, which is funny because that was like one of the greatest storylines in my opinion when Eddie stole him from Ray. That was just that's classic stuff.
Oh, it was, yeah, and he's not your father and all that stuff. It was really really good from what I remember, and the funniest thing about it is I'm actually not getting anything from that set. I just don't need the Dominic personally. I just don't need it, and that Sherry, I'm not sold on that Sherry because I have my Jacks, and I think the
Yeah.
CS one is beautiful, man. I heard face sculpt is great, and I don't know, it's just weird.
So talking so let's dive a little bit more into the collecting aspect of it.
Yeah,
So
yeah, yeah, totally.
when you go out and you collect stuff, are you more or would you say you lean more towards the modern side or more towards the vintage side?
Look, I lean towards whatever I can connect with, and I hope that's what everybody else does. I also look at value, right? So, I mean, there's an investment, there's always a collector's perspective, and you want to get what you like and what you want, and that's relevant to you, et cetera, et cetera. And then there's in my eyes, the investment perspective, where obviously you also want to kind of hone in and pinpoint things. You know, if I see super exclusives or chases or low print things, I want to go after that stuff, regardless if I like it or not, because I know that it's going to garner aftermarket value. Does that make sense?
Absolutely.
So you have that investment perspective there, and then if both meet together, I mean, gosh, you're on cloud nine, man.
No, of course,
You
no,
know,
no, of course. I mean, anytime. I mean, listen, you know as well as I do. It's like I like to refer to it as a unicorn, and what I refer to as a unicorn is you walk into a store. Obviously, you see a chase sitting on a shelf, but you don't see just one chase. You see multiple chases, and I refer to that as the unicorn. Now, I've never personally experienced that. I've seen a lot of people as of late do that with GameStop. In regards to the Jake Hager chases, the Jericho chases, and also the Darby and the Darby chases. I haven't seen that with the Brits. But Darby, Jericho, and Jake Hager have been the ones that have had the, I guess you want to call it, distribution issues.
yeah, to say the least, Jesus. But yeah, exactly. And look, I'm not finding these, but if I'm gonna like, for example, I was hunting one day, I found a Jericho chase out there, right? It was the purple jacket, I don't know,
Oh,
Unrivaled Five
series
or something like
series six, yeah.
six, six, six. Okay, so I found one, right? And I'm like, hey, you know what? Let me go back the next day because they were getting active shipments in, and I'm one of those guys that uses these sophisticated systems to navigate how when toys come in, as some people.
We
So
talked
using
about
the
that we talked about it that in the last episode I did with Man Cave Collectibles about what we do as far as like how we're able to track down where stuff is and things like that. So yeah, we all have our tools and tips of the tricks of the trade. So
Exactly. So go listen to that. I'm pretty sure it's the same thing. I'm asking the guys to scan shit left and right, and that's about it. That's my tips, and using my own devices. But anyway, I digress. Getting back. So yeah, I go in the next day, and boom, the same freaking chase is sitting on. It must have been one
unbelievable.
of these case things, like you were saying, GameStop had.
Yeah.
And I did. I'm not gonna leave it there, guys. Come on now.
No,
Like
listen,
you're not
anybody
leaving a chase there.
any
You
yeah,
know.
anybody that says that they're gonna leave a chase there for the next person, I'm sorry, you're full of shit.
Yeah, you are not
You are
fucking.
so full of shit. Oh, you know what the fucked up thing is, and I'm sure a lot of other YouTubers do this, that if they do come across multiple chases, they'll be like, oh, well, I'm gonna pick this one up for me, but I'll leave this here for the next person. Bullshit. You know, as soon as the camera stops recording,
Boom.
they're like, they take it off the shelf, be like, I'm going up to the fucking counter. We're gonna check this out right now. But I'm calling bullshit because you know what? Not gonna lie, I've now not to say that I've said that if I've ever found multiple chases, but if I do find multiple chases, I'm gonna take fucking multiple chases.
Yeah, I am too, brother. And it's
Use them
just
for trade bait for something else.
sales. Come on, guys. Look, we don't have an infinite amount of money. I am not I don't want to say this, but I'm not celebrity, right? So I don't have like like this income, and I don't get things sent to me or anything like that. I'm just a
Yeah.
regular dude that loves collecting and wants to actually share my journey with you guys. So with that said, yeah, I'm gonna take it and kind of utilize it. And I probably would regardless, even if I was a celebrity. So I don't look down on anybody for that at all.
Hey, listen, you
And
gotta.
look, we've given away a lot. Like all that's like if I don't get rid of some of that stuff and the value
Yeah.
comes down on it, I just give it away, man. You know, I run Instagram
Oh yeah.
giveaways nonstop, and we're gonna do a 4,000 follower giveaway soon. So go
Well,
follow us there. But yeah. Anyway, getting back to the point, dude, I'm not gonna. And even this is across platforms usually. Sometimes on the McFarlane stuff, I'll leave it, or if I see a Funko Pop that I really don't know what it is, I'll kind of leave it. But like if I see a chase in, the McFarlane that I really want, I'm taking it, man. If I see a chase elsewhere, I'm taking it, really.
Oh,
I mean,
but
that's
Funko's dead to me, so I
I
don't
know that.
Funko's dead to me, so I don't dabble in the Funko anymore. But
No.
so one thing I'm always curious about with other YouTubers and things like that is like like the equipment they use and like scheduling and things like that, because I know my schedule is always so chaotic and I try to squeeze things in wherever I can. But when you go out and you do your toy hunts and things like that, are you like one of those guys that bring like a massive rig with you, or are you using your phone?
I'm lucky. I have like, oh,
Uh, did you freeze?
yeah, somebody froze.
Oh, they are.
You're good now.
Okay.
Okay, cool. All right, I think we're good.
Damn internet
So
trying to screw up
yes,
my interview. Fuck you,
I
AT&T. Uverse, you sons of
so
bitches.
those fucking assholes. So that's probably just the hurricanes coming into Florida right
Yeah.
now. Not that time of the year, guys. But
Yeah.
it is Friday the 13th, so that's why I got the Taz shirt on, baby.
Oh, there you
Hasta
go.
Hajime time. But anyway, yes, when I go into a store, I don't have anything but my phone. I was lucky because I had my Google Pixel 2 for like 4 years. And then the 6 came out, and I'm like, oh man, yay, it's time. I need a new phone. I don't get updates. My battery's dead. So I actually have 4K video recording on my phone. So it's pretty
Okay.
sick to just do it live and in person. I do minimal editing in that
Okay.
respect. I would like to have something more regularly scheduled other than just popping on like Instagram and being like,
Yeah.
"Oh, hey guys, hey, check out me now." But I get confused. I mean, I'm up at least upwards of 100 plus viewers, 200, 300 plus views on those videos over time. So, um, people are watching them. Thank you so much for watching them. And I try to be fun. If I'm not, I'm sorry. I'll do better at it. But comment and let me know because I don't care. I want constructive criticism. And then as far as the YouTube content is concerned, I like to do one live stream weekly right now.
Okay.
I'm going to throw also in a scheduled action figure review soon. My,
Okay,
my,
cool.
my yeah, my review like room is set up finally,
Nice.
and I'm doing a lot of whatnot. I have scheduled whatnot right
I
now.
was actually watching your what I was actually in your whatnot last night, watching,
Uh,
and
chat was
that
a disaster.
you know what's funny? It's
I didn't see it on my end.
you know what? It's interesting. So I have sold on whatnot. I've sold on there. Um the first two streams I did were really big. I had a big pull and I had like over 300 people in like both first, and then after that like I backed off like a week or two because I had some other stuff going on, and then when I went back in it, like the viewership wasn't really there. And then you know what, there are a few things about whatnot that I don't like in particular, but I'm not gonna get into that. um but yeah, I saw you were, you had some Lucy's that you were moving, and then you were trying to do the giveaway, and for some reason the giveaway wasn't working. And I mean, it's listen, to do people don't understand the amount of pressure that you're under when you're trying to do a live stream, let alone also add on top of that doing a live sale. I mean, it's not easy to do.
Yo, and you want to be Billy Mays, right? I mean, that's my thing. Like I don't want to
Billy
sit it.
Mays.
Yeah, I want to take a line of coke and then get right into it and I got the best thing for you
Yeah.
right here. And that's the thing you want to bring. I feel like I need to bring some energy. I toned it down a little bit for my Sunday singles. So I've had 3 of these already. My
Okay.
first one went out fine. My second one went off fine. I was a little hyped up. I didn't know how the sound was going to sound because in my room it's like soundproof too, and I guess I was screaming a little too loud and like it was like very loud. But anyway, I digress again. I go into tangents. Pardon me. It's fun. You have to be fun, I think. I just don't want to kind of sit there like you're in my living room as well. Like I want to be somewhat professional. I want to have some good lighting. I want to
Yeah.
obviously have a background. I have a background in the works where I'm going to put up like a banner and stuff.
Oh, okay, cool.
Yeah, so I want to like make it inviting for people too. I just don't want to have like some shitty phone. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
look, I'm a professional here. I'm selling. I have a professional business. It's registered company. I'm paying taxes with it. As far as the wrestling figure protectors are going, that's going to go under the whatnot as well. So again, it's a situation here, where I'm not like some schmuck that's trying to scam. Or I'll help you out on the side if you want. That's fine, not a problem. But I have sales orders. I print them, packing lists, et cetera, et cetera. I know how to
Yeah.
ship from my other job. It's fun to balance everything out. I'm lucky enough to have the flexibility in my professional schedule to do this on the side as well. Not a lot of people have that because I do cooperate a small business.
Okay.
But it's a situation where whatnot's been great. I have had not a problem. I had a brief technical difficulty on our last stream, but yes, live streams are fun and interesting. I absolutely love them. I don't like the editing aspect of videos, so it's just tough to do it. For me, I
So
can do it, but it's
so full transparency, because that's what people expect from us. Um as far as live streams and pre-recorded stuff goes, we make I don't know if your channel's monetized, but
no,
the
no,
other
not yet.
not this channel yet, but the other channel that I'm on, MCE, that channel's monetized. Now, as far as that goes, um the pre-recorded videos don't pull in the pre-recorded videos make more money than the live streams do, unless people are super chatting you during the live stream. You
Yeah,
know, I could do an hour long live stream, which what we do with the Geek Show, and we'll put it up. We'll get about like 2,000 views on it, whatnot, after it's done. And then honestly, we're lucky if we make like $7 or $8 on it.
yeah,
I mean, the live stream, that's why you see a lot of people not doing as much as live streams as before. The live I like to personally do live streams because I like to interact with the people. That to me, that's one of the perks of being a subscriber is that you give the people an opportunity to interact with you live, get to ask you questions and things like that. So I mean, who knows? Maybe I might change this to a live stream format at one point, and we could field chats from the field questions from the chats and whatnot. But yeah, I mean, again, everybody's schedule is different. Everybody has their own thing. Like me, I try to bang out at least 4 to 5 videos a week.
yeah.
You know, that's just how I am. I'm a machine. I'm a machine like that. But I'm looking forward to seeing your figure reviews. That's the one thing I like watching a lot more than anything is the figure reviews. Now, as far as my figure reviews go, when I do them, they're absolutely horrible. I
Oh, stop
I
it! No,
I
they're
am the
not
one.
bad. They're not bad at all.
I
Come on,
think the
stop.
best. I think the best figure review I did was the one that I actually dropped today on MCE, where I did the review on the 30 Iron Man Mark 43 figure. Because I actually got a light box and I did
Mhm.
the review inside the light box. So
Yeah,
the lighting was nice and everything, and my camera was really good. Everything was good. The only problem I have when it comes to reviews is being able to articulate the words properly. And I'm not very good when it comes to talking about a product. Now, I'm good at shooting the shit with people like we're doing now. I could do
okay.
that all day long, but reviewing a product is something totally out of my realm.
Yeah, it's interesting because a lot of people that are like hardcore YouTubers have set scripts, right? I mean, they're literally reading off a script and they're telling you a story, and then they're incorporating that review within their said story, whatever their stance may be on it, et cetera, et cetera. Whatever, yeah, the thesis, as you would say, of the whole
Yeah.
video.
Yeah.
But for me, I don't know. I look at YouTube, and I know this is going to sound funny, but as a radio platform for me, I like the aspect of having the interaction, the live interaction. I love the aspect of bringing people in for you interviews and doing them live because you never know what's going to happen.
Okay.
So it does put you at a little bit more, you may have a little more pressure on you, but at the same time, I find that being one of just a fun aspect of it. Anything could happen. Now, obviously, this could all be formatted, and as we came on here, I asked you, Seth. I was like, "Is there anything specific? Are we going to talk about? Are you going to have, you know, 1, 2, 3 sections of this whole interview, and then we
Nope.
follow this here, follow this here, or are we going ad lib?" And we went ad lib, and I absolutely
Yeah.
love that. you know?
Yeah, I take it
How'd
wherever
you go?
I take it wherever it goes, man. I just again, this is
Yeah,
just us shooting the shit about collecting things that we're interested in, stuff that brings us enjoyment, and just talking about random stuff that people might not know, or stuff people might be interested in. So, that's how it is. Now, in the midst of all this, while we're talking, I do formulate questions that I'm gonna ask, that I'm gonna stop and ask periodically. But as far as that goes, yeah, man, it's just fly by the seat of your pants. Whatever happens, happens.
that's great. And I think what's fun about it too is what I like. That's what I like about YouTubing. I did podcasting for a while. I think we were almost half a year in. Me and my partner Joe Static. Joe's a great guy, but our schedules, it was just very difficult to get a set time together because we live very different lifestyles. So I think it's a situation where our podcasts were great and they were so much more formatted. I mean, we had segments, we had fun segments though. And if
Yeah.
you guys want to listen to some of that stuff, it is on Podbean and iTunes. But I think with the YouTube, I like the aspect where it's a little more, it's just it's formatted to a certain extent, but not at the same time.
Well, the other thing is with YouTube is that people could see you.
Yeah.
Doing a podcast, any, is doing a podcast. I mean, yeah, people like to listen while they're driving and whatnot. I get that, and then there are people that like to actually see the people while they're talking, to see their facial expressions and how they're interacting, because sometimes that might not always project, or they might perceive that feeling through just listening. Some people prefer to see it. So I get what you're saying.
Yeah, inflection points and everything, just to even make your, get a better opinion or get a bit of perspective on something when someone is articulating it to you. Because sometimes I could sound like a fucking asshole. I'm telling you, guys, I'm sorry, I can. I understand it, but I want to try to convey to you that I am kind of knowledgeable about that, and any of my opinions are based on either facts or or my knowledge of a certain situation. But regardless of all that, look, we're all here to have fun. I think that's it. That's the one thing. I know you're here to have fun.
I'm always
Uh,
I'm always down for a good time. There's no question with that.
Exactly. And I think we do this for fun. So I even look at my channel, as far as the monetization factor of it is like, all right, well, if it comes, it comes. And if we can slowly
Yeah,
build
it's
it and
it's
get
a
there,
second.
great.
Yeah, it's an afterthought. It's a secondary thing. Yeah.
Yeah, it's my hobby right now. And if I can monetize and turn it into somewhat of a hobby slash business, that would be great. And if not, that's okay too.
Listen, and again, so full transparency, all the money that I make on the other channel, everything just gets recycled back into it. That's what allows me to go to cons. That's what allows me to buy the stuff that I want to buy. It's not like I'm, sitting there like Mr. Crab, money, 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 money. Everything goes back into the channel. That's whether I have to buy new equipment, or anything like that. That's what happens. That's what I do with the money. Do I work? Listen, I work a full-time job. My job pays me very well. I make a very good living. I don't have to touch, every once in a while I'll have to dabble in a little bit of that money, especially if I'm at a con, and then I got to hear from my wife. So, hey, what was this charge for 200 and something dollars? Nothing. Nothing. Every once in a while, she'll see that, and I'll get questioned, and I'll get caught in the deer in headlights, and I'll be like,
Oh,
you
Seth,
know,
you got to have that little personal bank account for
so
yourself.
I had so
You
I
can't
got
tap,
I listen.
you
I
can't tap
wised
into
up.
the joint.
I wised up, and I do have my own. I do have a separate account from that
Is
now.
that
So
PayPal?
yeah, I do have a separate account from that. Well, no, even before, when I had the regular account, when we just had the one count, um, even the PayPal charges come out of that account. So she would be like, "Oh, what are all these
Oh
PayPal
shit.
charges?"
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Got
And it
it.
used to listen, and no lie, it used to be really bad back in the day when I used to collect Funko,
Well, I was
because
gonna say you also collecting hot toys. I mean, how does
yeah.
that work?
So so it used to be really bad with the pops, because I used to go into a lot of these Facebook groups and play the raffles, and put down $25 for an opportunity to win like a $100-$200 pop.
Oh
I mean,
god.
let me tell you something,
15, 15, 15, 15.
dude. Dude, let me tell you something. I started playing, and I was known in a lot of these groups for the longest time as the raffle king, because
Yeah.
I would come in and I would win. I mean, like, and I wouldn't win small. I would win big. I won the complete set of Thundercats, and think about how expensive, those are. I won the complete set of Thundercats for $20.
Amazing.
It's just it's unheard of. It's unheard of.
It's crazy.
You
The
know,
here's the thing. I don't know about anything about pop, okay? But I
you
trust
don't
your
want to
judgment
stay
there.
stay
You're
stay
you're
away.
you're the experienced guy right there. What is your opinion? So Thundercats, as you just said, fans are so passionate. We're gonna go take this in a little bit of a different direction.
that's nostalgia. You know
Wow, they are.
that's my childhood. That's your childhood.
I
You
love
know,
it. I love it.
yeah,
But
yeah,
like so you have the Super 7 owns or is obviously has the license right now, doesn't own it, but I guess they're paying for it. And
yeah.
they're making these figures. And I, for one, I think they're all right. Like I'm not I think they look great. I'm
They do.
happy, you know,
They
like
are. They are. Listen,
they're
they're
for
better.
me.
Yeah, they're better versions of the original ones because obviously there's more. They You're able to articulate the figures a lot more now than they were back then. You know, like back then you didn't get elbows bending or knees bending. You know, it was just the arms would go up like that, and then the legs.
Oh yeah, I got my LJN set right
Yeah,
here. Yeah, yeah.
exactly. So I mean, but the fact that the Super Sevens they're releasing them, they're making them look like the classic ones, and they're highly articulate, and the figures do look great. Obviously, some people aren't, and I know you're going with this. Some people aren't like about the price point though.
Yeah, I guess it's price point, and then Bandai did like the 7, 8 inch ones too. Don't forget
Yeah,
that was a short run. I got a couple of them in here, but yes. So Super Seven's been doing the cartoon quote unquote accurate or whatever you want to call it ones for I believe about 5 or 6 sets now, and then yes, their sixth set or something now is going to be this cartoon inspired one, which is I mean not cartoon, the toy LJN toy inspired one. But there's a lot of people like talk about we want articulation, and they're all over Super 7. So I wanted to ask you the question. I mean, regardless of this, I mean, do you own Super 7 product? What do you
yeah.
think of Super 7 as a whole? And I mean, yeah, what do you think
So
about all this backlash?
I have the Super Seven Turtles. Um, I have I have some of the Super 7 Thundercats.
Okay.
I have Matt and Brian Super 7 figures, which I think are great.
They're great. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. I mean, John
I
Lucas Reyes did a great fix up, though. I
he
mean, like
Yeah, the
he knocked
custom,
it
yeah,
out
the
of the park.
custom, yeah.
That custom
Um,
was sick.
I also have Matt and Brian. So I have two. I have two of each of Matt and Brian because one set's actually signed by Matt and Brian, and then the other one's still in the box, which I haven't taken out yet, which I want to do. And then I have a set that's autographed by Gallows and Anderson. So I have their Super Sevens and they're signed too.
Nice.
Now, um, I've had the turtle ones in hand. I've never had any issues with them. I like the way they look. Their take on the old playmate figures, which is great. They're just a little bigger, and obviously the articulation's a lot better. I like how they made the accessories more towards the vintage style
Yep.
that came with it. I thought that was really cool how they had them on the plastic piece and you got to twist them and pull them off to get them off just like the old school.
Yeah.
And I like that. I've never the only issue I have with Super 7 is with the vehicles. You know, $450 for the turtle wagon and then another 400 oh no, I think it's more than that. I think for the Thunder Tank.
I
I
think
think
so
or
too.
was it the
Yeah.
same price?
It's
But
about five something, or yeah, of
yeah,
course, it's $600.
but
I
like
think. Yeah.
that kills me, because those are cool pieces to go with that, especially if you have a home or you have a collection room that's you got a huge area where you could really display that stuff and you would want to put the figures around it and make it look really cool. But yeah, the prices on some of those vehicles are just a little out of my realm.
No,
And
I understand that.
it's funny because people are like, "Oh, well, you have no problem, spending $1,000 on a statue, or spending $300-400 on a hot toy." It's a little different. I don't know how to explain it. To me, it's just it's different.
And
You know?
that's what I was going to ask you because we are into hot toys. I know you're getting
Yeah.
out a little bit and whatnot, but you have something like the DeLorean, and that's upwards of $1,000, for a
So
six scale.
yeah, so the original DeLorean, yeah, that thing goes for like $2,000, but I believe they're getting ready to
Re-release.
re-release it, and
Yeah,
I
the
think
two.
it's gonna be like $600.
Oh, I thought it was a
So
thousand. I have
no,
it on
no,
pre-order. I
no,
forgot. Yeah. Okay.
I think it's like $600.
Okay.
And they also just did that not too long ago with the tumbler for Batman for the Dark Knight series.
Okay.
The tumbler was going for stupid money, and then they re-released the tumbler, I think, for like $600-700.
Gotcha.
So I
And
mean,
yeah, it's just interesting. So I got both. I want to test them out. I want to see what they are. I get now what you're saying.
Yeah.
Because my mind, I'm thinking that the Hot Toys one was closer to 1,000, but now, yes, when you're that close in price to a six scale, obviously,
And
highly accurate and detailed vehicle.
oh,
Yeah,
you're gonna listen. If it came down to a Super 7 vehicle or a Hot Toy vehicle, oh, it's
the Hot Toys.
A Hot Toy vehicle all day long and
All
twice
day.
on Sunday.
Yeah, yeah. And
There's
I
no
agree.
question about that.
I compare. So when everybody wants to compare this, they always want to compare it to NECA, and I think it's an unfair comparison to a certain extent. I think it's good. It's not, it's like kind of as apples and oranges to I don't want to say apples and oranges. I want to say like, I don't know. There's another apple style thing that's close to an apple, but it's not an apple. But I
Yeah.
forgot what the fruit
Was
was
it a
because I'm
pear?
a
What is
food.
it? A pear? What is it? A pear
Yeah, it's like it's a pear, but
or a
it's local
plum?
to New Jersey, and it's like a pear hybrid or something. But it's something super obscure that I forgot the name of because I'm a food nerd, obviously. So
Oh, okay.
anyway, um, it's like that, and I still think it's an unfair comparison because even when you see the NECA vehicle release, it's going to be obviously about $200 less than the Super 7 one. I don't know. They had to do
Yeah,
something
the neck is
wonky in the back
250. Yeah,
end, and it was just like, I don't know, like when I saw them, like I see them side by side, it's brighter, the Super 7, it's just more flashy to me, it's more reminiscent of my childhood, so like I don't care at that point,
yeah. Well, the thing is,
for me.
the thing is too is that I think the Super 7 one is a little bigger
Yes.
than the NECA one. So the NECA one's what I think it was like $250.
Yeah,
I think the NECA one is. So I mean, yeah, it's half the price of the Super 7 one basically. But I mean, again, nobody's really gonna know until they start getting them in hand.
you got to play
So
with it,
so
got to play with the
exactly. So
toys.
so once it's in hand and you physically have it in front of you, yeah, your opinion might maybe change a little bit.
And I know it's funny. I love also asking questions because I love leading into other things like the Andre the Giant that was just teased by Super 7 too, man. What did you think of it?
Mm, eh.
You're done with
I
it?
yeah, I mean, listen, me personally, I do like Andre the Giant, but I'm like not that smitten over Andre the Giant.
Gotcha.
I get it that he's a beloved character and it was a beloved wrestler and everything like that, but it's like, you know, you're trying to appeal to an older audience, obviously with a figure like that.
Yeah.
And I understand that. And maybe that's what Super Seven's marketing strategy is. I
Yeah.
mean, they're trying to play on the nostalgia of people like me and you that have seen Andre the Giant, that grew up with Andre the Giant. I mean, WrestleMania 3, Princess Bride, all these other things. And again, to me, it's just, it's just, I could easily say it's a pass, without hesitation.
I may get it. I really want to see what else. I mean, they're going to come with. I'm assuming this is their final figure. What do you think about this whole kind of like Andre? Everybody's doing Andre now. You know,
Everybody's
again.
yeah, and even what is it? They did the WWE one where they just re-released him in the Bigfoot
Yeah, the
costume.
Bigfoot costume.
God,
Yeah,
that figure is so horrible.
six
So
million dollar
horrible.
man. Come on,
Yeah.
who watched? I did not watch the 6 million. I wasn't even freaking alive for it. I believe this was a 1970s show, no, or
Oh no,
1980s.
yeah, it was no, it was in the 70s, but the thing is like
Yeah,
obviously like my dad likes to watch a lot of TV, so I growing up I watched a lot of the reruns, so it's like I knew about it, and it was just like it's like come on man, it's like you guys WWE could be putting out well, I shouldn't even say WWE. Mattel could be putting out so much more than Bigfoot or John Cena from the Fast and Furious 9, like the Roddy Piper one was the best one that they put out from that whole movie line.
look,
That to me
they
that was
live is
cool.
amazing. John Nott is amazing. I have the NECA version, so I never got
Yeah,
this. I didn't even want to jump through hoops for this one because I love the NECA version. I think it's amazing.
yeah,
Um, and then yes, I agree with you on that aspect. I know you want a kind of collaboration. You want to do a Universal. So I guess they signed Universal Studios to do this with, and
yeah,
all this jazz. And I get it, but guess what? Those figures are now 9.99 on
yeah.
my clearance at Walmart. So that's a failure for
Absolutely,
you guys.
absolutely,
Failure.
absolutely. And again, and I think that's the other reason too why they cut the Motu line too, because they just feel like it didn't get the traction that they were hoping. I mean, again, you're trying to get two types of people. You're trying to get Motu people and you're trying to get WWE people. And some people are okay with it, some people aren't. And obviously if you collect anything and everything wrestling, of course you were gonna get those. If you're a Motu person, yeah, there might be a slight chance that you'd be like, for shits and giggles, let me pick it up and let me see what happens. But yeah, I passed on that wave too. So I was just like, it's whatever to me.
I did like them. I like the aspect that you could trim them down. I did not like them for the Motu aspect. I am not a Motu guy at all. There's definitely a lot of crossover there. I think they knew that they were limited in what they could do, because at first it was like, oh, we're gonna have a WWE character basically be one of the Motu guys, right? That was
Yeah,
the whole like
yeah.
mostly, and then it kind of went to, oh no, they can be and they can't be. So they can be original within the mode, but or they can actually be someone that's supposed to represent someone from. So I was just like, what? Like, that's why I think it got kind of like Motu people were like, I don't want this shit anymore. Like I want He-Man as Hulk Hogan. I want Skeletor as or something like that. Like Scareglow Undertaker makes sense,
Yeah,
if
absolutely.
I'm a Motu and a wrestling fan. But if you give me some random Undertaker guy that it's like not representative of anybody, it's still, or re-release somebody, it was just, yeah, it was getting into a hot mess.
So as we start to wind this down, I mean the time just just flies by with these
Yeah,
conversations, man.
I could go everywhere.
One thing I forgot to do it in the last episode, and I have to, again, this is new to me, so I got to get better at remembering this stuff. And I like to end every interview with this question. What are three pieces that are in your collection that you would never part with?
I mean, I can get one of them out. I'll get here. I'll get one out right now.
Oh,
Just
we'll
to show
go. Sure, sure. Whip out that Johnson,
off.
as my buddy Dubby would say. Whip it out. Let's see it. I see a bunch of Ultimate Warriors. Oh, it's in a case. Now you know it's serious. That's got to be like a 1 out of 100 or a 1 out of 1 or something.
I hear you talking,
Yeah,
Seth.
it's got to be like a 1 out of 100 or like a 1 out of 50 or something.
Well, I've told this story many times, and this
Yeah.
is the one figure that I'm never getting rid of, no matter what. So this is actually, and if you could see it, I'm
Yeah.
gonna try to get it in here.
It's a 1 out of 20.
1 out of 20,
Yeah,
limited
limited
edition.
edition.
This is the WCW return of the Ultimate Warrior in his return attire with the mint on card. This is from Warrior. So he had also signed it for me.
I see that. That's awesome.
Yep, on the angle there. I had corresponded with him. I believe it was in God, I want to say it was probably in 2009-ish, 26 to 2009. I think it was 2009. And I have the email correspondence still saved to this day.
That's awesome.
Yeah, and it's just never going to go anywhere. I do have the COA. He had done for these special figures. So if anybody doesn't know this story, basically Jack Pacific, Jeremy Padower was actually running the Jack Pacific Classic Superstars line, the WWE line, for the company, and he had got Ultimate Warrior to sign a Legends deal with Jax. So what was interesting, Legends deals didn't exist at that time, and the WWE and Jax Pacific made a deal where Jax would sign these legends. That's why he had so many obscure names. And obviously, there would be a royalty paid out to the superstar and a royalty paid out to the WWE. And then, upon termination of the licensing agreement with Jax and the WWE for production of action figures, the WWE would have the option to actually sign that superstar or take over that contract that Jax made.
Oh,
Which was pretty cool. So Jack Pacific and Jeremy Padower this is why he's the godfather of wrestling figures.
he is. I agree.
He was the guy that was actually integral in forming what we now know as WWE Legends. Is pretty remarkable.
Wow.
So that's how basically WWE Legends got created. And what he did with Warrior and him actually collaborated on a ton of 1 in 20 pieces, 1 of 5 pieces, 1 of 15 pieces, etc. And I had, got on the internet. And I was on the WFIGS boards at the time, and I got wind of this, and I contacted Warrior. I emailed him off of his website. He got back to me. We had several conversations. I eventually purchased this figure. I got it for $600 at the time. I got
Woo.
3 8x10 signed by him as well, and
Awesome.
he was so super gracious.
That's awesome.
He also sent me prototype images. Um, yeah, so it was amazing, man. I can't part with it, you know?
No, that's yeah, no, that's like a what is it, like an heirloom that gets passed down from, generation to generation. I mean, that's you know what? It's funny we say that it gets passed down to generation. Next thing you know, 2 years later, oh, on this episode of Pawn Stars.
I'm gonna be in Vegas, baby. No,
Yeah.
so another quick story here. I actually sold this before.
Oh,
Yeah. So, and I wanted to leave this really in there. So
okay.
I sold this back, I think, and it was like 26, no, it was like 2013, 2014. I still have my email for that. And I had got back into collecting again. I don't know, it was like 2017 or something like that. I actually had researched the person who's just recently sold this. It was like October prior to me coming back into collecting in December, and I'm never out of it, but I sometimes you get out. And I contacted him. He gave me the person's email, and I was like, "Look, I'm not a creeper. I just want to contact this guy."
Hmm.
Or he gave me his eBay name. I messaged him. He turned me down 3 times and said he would never
Wow.
part with it. He comes back to me 5 months later after I'm like, dude, I really, really want. I knew it was mine because I knew how it was signed, and it had a little bit of piece of the tissue paper
Okay.
there. So
Okay.
this is my figure, no doubt. I had it signed a specific way. I knew this was my figure, and he comes back to me 5 months later out of the blue, and he's like, "Look, I'll give it to you for $1,500." And I was like, "Look, I sold it for 1,200. Can you do 1,200?" He's like, "Yeah."
Wow. Amazing.
I can't
Amazing.
freaking believe I
Amazing.
got this fucking back,
So
Steph. I can't
so
believe it.
so so let me ask you a question. So in the midst of all that, did you feel like regret after you sold it? Like, did you sit there and like after you sold it and you were like, shit, I might have fucked up?
Yeah, I had thought about it. What was interesting to me is I had kept the 8x10s obviously from the transaction,
Oh,
and I'd
of course.
also I also kept the return address. So I always had Ultimate Warriors return. He used to live in Santa Fe, New Mexico, for people that don't know. And I had the return address, and I was just like, okay, I have this. I still have something I have the email transactions and all this. So yes,
That's
I
awesome.
definitely regretted it. And I regretted it, but not as much, but even more so when I got back in, because I saw how these things were going to start moving upwards in the marketplace. I'm like, oh my God. And I wanted it. It's just like, and I also had the disposable income now again
Yeah.
to get it back, and
Sure.
I'm not right now. I'm in great, like, just like you said, I'm a great professional career. I have no problems with money at all. But at the situation, like at the time, was the first time I got out of collecting was because I lost my job. I had to sell. Jack Specific ended the license. I was like, I'm going to get rid of all my classic superstars. I did. The second time would be now. And that's not even selling my collection. That's just selling again the fat of it. I have
Yeah, yeah.
collected so much. I cannot put everything in here. I have all
Oh
this
no, of
filled. I
course.
have all
Yeah.
this. I have another room. It's just getting out of hand. So I have to start thinking about it. Retirement. Like,
Yeah.
am I going to ever display the Nation of Domination? Like, am I ever going to display? So, and the answer is probably no. Just for me personally. So
That's all right. So what are the other two? What are the other two pieces? If just off the top of your head.
I don't know, man. Wow, that's tough. I don't even like it's so tough. Probably one of my autograph pieces. Oh
You
man.
don't have to grab anything. You can just tell.
Yeah,
You can
no,
just
no,
tell us.
I'm not gonna grab anything. I'm just thinking like if I have like I don't know, man. It's so tough. It's like I love my Series 1 Hasbros. These are what the majority of them are from when I was a kid. I probably wouldn't sell any of those ever. I mean, just like the ones that were mine, not the ones
Yeah.
that I repurchased or anything like that. Though,
Yeah.
like I have Akeem sitting there. I have Dusty. Talked about Dusty
Yeah.
earlier.
Yeah. Yeah.
That is my original Dusty in the case.
Wow.
My original Andre.
Unbelievable. Unbelievable.
My green card Atom Bomb is something loose I cannot sell either because it's the last Hasbro I got in a comic book store in the Woodbridge Mall, and in New Jersey, and I can't do it. So
Okay.
that would probably be the second, and then
Okay.
the third, who knows, man? How about you?
I so I
Give me
so
one.
there's so I'll absolutely hands down I'll give you one.
Give us
Um
one, I should say.
the one thing I won't give away is my autographed copy of Hollywood Hulk Hogan, the book, that he wrote back in the 2000s.
You told this
So
story
yeah,
when you were on the
I
podcast.
told
Yep,
that story. So when I was on your
that's
channel,
true.
so just to quick to refresh everybody, and then we'll call it a wrap. I've always been a Hogan guy. Anybody that knows me knows I live, breathe, I train, I say, train, I take my vitamins, I say my prayers, I bleed red and yellow. To this day, I still bleed red and yellow. So
Awesome.
drove 4 hours to Tampa. He was doing a book signing in a Walmart. And obviously, we waited in line. We got up there, and he was signing everybody's books, Hollywood Hulk Hogan. I got enough time to where I could talk to him for like just a couple of minutes, just tell him, all the stories and everything like that. Told him how I wrote him a letter when, Earthquake Curtis, jumped on his chest, and, I got the autographed 8x10 back from him, all that stuff. And he was just like blown away that, people can recall that type of stuff. And I got to take a picture with him, and he said, "Oh, what's your name?" And I told him my name, and he signed the book. I didn't see what he signed it at the time. He signed it, and then we walk out. Me and my buddy walk out of the store. So my buddy goes, I said, "Oh, what did he write in your book?" And he goes, "Oh, Hollywood Hulk Hogan." He goes, "What did you write? What did he write in your book?" And he wrote, "To Seth, my number one fan, Hulkster."
There you go.
I listen. That piece will stay with me to the end of time. To the end of time. I'm hoping now. I saw a post the other day that he's actually going back into the beach shops now
That's
to
awesome.
do autograph signings and stuff like that. I'm hoping I can catch one of those and go there again, and maybe have him sign like one of the Hasbros or something like that. Just so I had just something else to pair with the book. You know. So, but
Yeah, you got to beat Hogan, I think, but that's an incredible story, and that's it. It's nostalgia, like the
yeah,
Atom Bomb
absolutely.
Hasbro, seeing it there, beating your childhood hero and stuff like that's what we love, and this is why we do this, guys.
So, so you're from up north, so you'll understand. When I mention this story, you'll either know it or you won't know it. So back in the day when I was living in New York, we didn't have Walgreens or Eckerd's. We had Genovese. You remember
Okay,
Genovese?
I've heard of it. We did
Okay.
not have them in New
Okay.
Jersey, but
We had
yes, I've
we
heard
had
of
we had a Genovese, and it was in the Bay Terrace. It was in the Bay Terrace shopping center in Whitestone, where I grew up in New York. And my parents would go. There was a what is it, a Dan Supreme supermarket in there, and a Key Food, and we used to go to all these. There was a Radio Shack in there, a Tom McCann. Like
it.
I'm throwing up old stuff right now. People are probably like, "What the fuck is that shit?" So 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 there was a Genovese, and the Genovese was like like today's version of Walgreens. So I remember going in there for the first time and walking to the toy aisle and remembering seeing the Hasbros on card sitting on there. My father goes, "Hey, what do you want?" And I'm like, "Of course you know what I want." I'm like, "I want the Hogan." So he grabbed me the Hogan, and he grabbed me a few other ones. But again, it's like one of my fonder childhood memories. I remember my going to the store and my parents actually buying me the Hasbros.
Yep.
You know, so
Yep.
it's like again, and that's why I've kind of almost jumped back into collecting wrestling, is just because of that nostalgia aspect. I don't get those feels with like the Hot Toys or the Marvel figures or any of that other stuff. Wrestling gives me those feels, and for those of you that want to know why I jump back, that's one of the reasons why I jump back. But we'll go back into that in a later video. I don't want to hold you up anymore, Will. Um,
Dude.
Dude, thanks so much for joining me. This has been fun. We'll definitely have you on again. Guys, I'll leave the links in the description below for Will's Instagram, Will's YouTube channel. Make sure you go subscribe and show him some love and support. Great dude. Again, if you're a huge wrestling guy, I mean, you could just tell by the background. I mean, you know, with me and we know when I was on his podcast, I mean, we could talk wrestling for hours. I mean, you know, forget about it. But yeah, it was great having you on, man. I appreciate you coming on. We'll definitely do it again. And yeah, if I definitely make it up north, man, we definitely got to link up and do a hunt together. That would be a lot of fun. And then you could take me to all the places in Jersey that are by you, which I think would be
Yeah,
fun.
man, we have a ton of good stuff here. So yeah, we'll have a lot of fun. And thank you so much for having me on tonight. Yeah, enjoyed it as always.
And then don't forget, guys, on Will's Instagram, he is doing a 4,000 follower giveaway. So make sure you go follow him. You want to enter that giveaway. You want to get stuff. And also, I'll leave the link in the description below for Will's website where he actually sells the figure defenders. Do not Will was actually kind enough to send me the defender for the AEW figures. Let me tell you something. Those are way better than the ringside. It's not a clamshell. It's way better than the ringside, and it fits so nice and tight. So good job on that. And I might have to purchase some from you. So we'll talk about that off air. You know, maybe I get the backdoor deal.
Dude, there's always a backdoor deal somewhere.
Yeah,
Come on
yeah.
now. We're old school, especially if you're from New York, New Jersey. New York.
Yeah, it fell off the back of the truck. So
Exactly.
all right, guys, again, make sure you go check out Will on the Squared Circle Action Figure Podcast. And yeah, so if you guys like what you saw, please be sure to give a thumbs up. If you're new, please be sure to subscribe. As always, be sure to hit that bell so you get notified every time another episode of the Collector Shot goes live for your viewing pleasure. As always, you can check out all the excellent content I offer right here on this channel. And until next time, guys, sit back, relax, kick up your feet, and take a shot. And we'll see you on the next one.